Dear viewers, as you can see, we have just entered Crudlee, village of roses, in the Meander Valley in northwest Tasmania. Beware, this inbred, insipid little town has just been renamed Crudlee, village of noses, to more accurately reflect its real nature. Come with me on a journey through this boring little basket case of a town, while I reveal to you all of the people and the places that give it its so richly deserved reputation as a haven for right-wing conservatism and extreme prejudice against anything or anyone new or unwilling to bend to its anally retentive demands and petty requirements. The first stop here, at the top end of Sorrel Street, is an old, historic but restored building. You can see from the sign that even the richest man in the district faced severe opposition to anything changing at all, even though it is his property and no one else's business. But, dear viewer, as we go on, you will see that minding one's own business in Crudlee, village of noses, is severely frowned upon. On the contrary, nosiness and interference in other people's private affairs is the accepted norm. Our next stop, a little further down Sorrel Street, is the honey farm, run by good Christian Mennonites. As good Christians, the Mennonites said to the local Meander Valley Council that the land is God's and they have no need to pay the council any rates at all. The council, however, run by fanatical secular fascists, instead of sitting down and discussing, or even taking the Mennonites to court for the $12,000 odd in unpaid rates, simply annexed their home for themselves, much like Hitler annexed Poland in 1939. The council then sold the Mennonites' home to recover the unpaid rates, of course, and pocketed the difference. The honey farm itself was, however, saved, we suspect, by the same rich man just back up Sorrel Street, who encountered so much interference and hassle in restoring his historic old building. He paid the honey farms outstanding rates, thus allowing them to stay open. He allowed them to stay open for the hordes of mainly Chinese tourists who stopped there by the busload. In some countries, dear viewer, the motto has been, use it or lose it. In Crudlee, village of noses, however, the motto has now become, pay up or lose it, much like fascist Sicilian Italy. I'm sure that our viewers can see a pattern emerging. A little further down Sorrel Street, Crudlee, is yet another closed down business. Art Food Tasmania. Well, they may as well have named it Fart Food Tasmania, as we here in Crudlee, village of noses, don't take no truck with all that hippie cuisine and long hair and all that marijuana in them there biscuits. No siree. What a shame they were not even given the chance Moving on then, we find Roses of Crudlee, formerly known as Silks. And you guessed it, another closed down business. Notice here, if you will, how the roses are two different colours. We here in Crudlee Village of Roses don't like no different coloured roses. No, we don't. And over here we have our community hall, where every year on the 26th of January, Australia Day, we have our Australia Day breakfast, where everyone is welcome, except, of course, hippies, kikes, wops and niggers. And anyone else who is not invited, like that Tony Bloody story down the road. Yes, dear viewers, even though the Tasmanian Aborigines were nearly completely exterminated by reactionary loonies like these here in Crudlee, the Aborigines still viewed themselves as belonging to, or being owned by the land, if you like. However, they did not pay their rates, and we all know what happens to people who do not pay their rates, don't we? Anyway, every January the 26th, the red, white and blue streamers come out, and all the rednecks come in for their fatty, no guilt, we are the champignons breakfast. Don't ever bother stopping, because you ain't bloody invited. Moving right along then, we have the Crudlee General Store. More aptly renamed as Gossip Central. Visitors. If you want overpriced, substandard, fatty food while you fill up with dodgy, water-contaminated petrol, all whilst being interrogated by Crudlee's biggest gossip, then this is the place for you. Step right up, folks. But hurry, they're selling up soon. Next door to the store, is number 64, Sorrel Street, Crudlee. So why, do you ask, does the letterbox say number 63? Well, dear viewers, in keeping with the drag kicking and screaming into the 1950s, Crudlee Zeitgeist, all of the letterboxes for the left-hand side of the road must be on the right-hand side of the road. This, we presume, is so that the mailman can drive down the wrong side of the road to deliver the mail without having to get out of his mail van. The gap in the nice hedge here, you can see, is where it has been poisoned. Anything that looks like even moving in Crudlee is instantly poisoned by over-officious teams of female rose enforcers. Anyway, the gap in the hedge, where it has been poisoned, is for us to keep an eye on this suspicious character at number 64 here, who, wait for it, places a high value on personal privacy. Obviously exhibits antisocial tendencies. Must be a bloody terrorist. Personal privacy in Crudlee. Oh, never heard such a thing. Over the road here, we have, of course, another closed down business, patronised now only by cows. No, the cow doesn't seem to be here today. Not even the cows turn up anymore. Oh dear. Just up the road here, lives the cow god. At PETA, or People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, the headquarters here in Crudlee, where, during the night, teams of nosy females spew forth into the night to blissfully interfere with other people's animals. Of course, the headquarters has now been renamed PETA, or Pet Pedophiles for the Enteric Treatment of Animals. There's an image of the great cow god itself. But notice, if you will, the letterbox. Yes, on the wrong side of the road again. Just for the mailman, who must have glued himself to the seat of his mail van. Finally, dear viewer, we have come to the other end of town. You know, that end of town we don't talk about, like all the time. Where we have seen all the signs that a poor, sick, disability pensioner had to put up to just try and get a little privacy. Fat chance of that, with all the conformity enforcers and local pyromaniacs up on the roof of the local fire station with binoculars, always monitoring his every move, whilst having a long drooling perv at his wife. Bloody terrorists. And all these bloody roses. They were all different colours, I'm sure. All different sizes, all over the place. It's just not on. So, there you have it, folks. Crudlee, Village of Noses. The Grand Detour. Now that you've found out all about it, don't bother coming here, because you ain't bloody invited. Shove it, brother. Just keep walking.